I think I would have liked this more if I was a space camp kid, but let's talk about Orbital by Samantha Harvey. Hello, book friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hello, if you are new. It's Alyssa. We are here for my second review of Booker 2024, and this is probably one of the shorter books from the long list, and that is Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I actually had an ALC of this for a really long time, and I just put off reading it because it does sound like it would be really interesting. But I will say this is definitely not anywhere near a favorite, and it's absolutely so mid to lower mid in my humble opinion, which is weird because I feel like when I go on Storygraph, all these people are raving about how like beautiful this book is and wonderful this book is, but this book isn't beautiful. This book is boring. This book is overly written. It is an idea. It is not a full concept. I did not like this. I did not like this really that much at all. There were moments that weren't so awful, so it's not like the worst book I've ever read, but no. Why is it on this list? It feels like a nothing book. It doesn't deserve to be on here. But like I said, I feel like if I was a space camp kid, maybe I would care more about this, but I was not a space camp kid. I was subjected to the joys of Bible camp, not space. So basically we're following like five, I think it's five. I've already started to forget them because all the characters are non-existent for me. I think there's five different astronauts on this spaceship and they're orbiting Earth. It's just sort of them existing on this spaceship. So you get observations about space, you get their sort of stream of consciousness, sort of thoughts a little bit about life on the ship, life at home, how being in space changes you and how you look at humanity. That part I liked. There are moments that are really good, but a lot of it is just not written well. Some of it is overly written. There's an attempt to make this really beautiful and lyrical and almost like a really well done nature writing, but it's not reflective or well done in that manner. I've had some friends tell me that the author's doing a really good job making it feel suffocating or claustrophobic. I don't feel claustrophobic. I don't feel feelings when reading this book. And I don't know if my heart is cold and dead, but I don't care. I don't care about any of our characters. She's trying to make me give a shit about these people who are thinking about things that are happening on Earth that they are missing, like their mother dying and while they're in space, but also not only is their mother dying while they're in space, but they're also unable to go to the funeral because they're in space, difficulties with marriages, all these different things about your earthly worries and concerns and how you're separated from all of that. I don't care. I do not care. This book made me feel nothing but sleepy and bored and tired. And I don't know if it's just me. And I really would love to know what other people think because I just I couldn't care about any of these people. And it felt like this either needed to be sort of a book about space, and we could have had one person we were sitting in the head of, and they were sort of stream of consciousness, exploring their thoughts in a single day in orbit. Or we could have had a longer book where we really got to know everybody, but we didn't do that. So I didn't really care. So it's like, oh yeah, your mom died. I mean, that sucks. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care about you. I will say it gets better as the book goes on because there's a little bit more reflection on that dynamic of how does being in space change the way you look at life, the way you look at Earth. Like, you're constantly outside of things and looking at it. You know, you're looking at a world that is just land masses with no borders. And then what do these borders mean? And what do politics mean? And does it actually mean anything? Or have we placed all these things, all these difficulties in our own way? Does humanity just make issues for themselves? I liked all those sort of philosophical ruminations. Those were fun. I think that would have been great if we were literally in one person's head the entire time and we got to have this whole stream of consciousness thing going on. That would have been phenomenal. You could have made this a really long book and like that, and I would have still liked it. I would have liked a better experience of claustrophobia versus expansion. There's one line that talks about it, and there's a lot of this like sort of telling, not showing, that goes on through the entire book, which is really frustrating because she basically just tells you it's claustrophobic in space, and that doesn't, I mean, I know space is claustrophobic because that's why I don't want to go to space. So there's one line here where they says, and when you do look out, any claustrophobia becomes agoraphobia in an instant, and you have both at once. Yeah, of course you do. And that's like the complexity of being in space, is that somehow you're confined and suffocated, and you're so bounded by, or like bound by the boundaries of your spacecraft or whatever, but you're also in the infinity of space. And it's crazy, but like that why was there not more of that explored? I don't know. There was one line like right at the beginning that really set a really bad taste in my mouth for it, and I need to find it because this line just really did something to me here. They're looking down at Earth, and there's this big storm that's coming, and it's gonna hit, I think, the Philippines. Anyway, so there's all this discussion around like basically you're watching bad things happen on Earth, and there's nothing really you can do about it other than maybe like send warnings about the weather back to Earth. And it says there are maybe 12 hours before it hits, and you are on an island that's off of an island that's in the ocean, hopelessly low lying. So all you can do is lie low hopelessly. Does that sentence just anybody else hated it? Absolutely hated it. And that is like the first third or so of this book is like just written annoyingly like that. And then it gets a little bit more philosophical as we go along. And I kind of like that bit. I wish we had more of that. I don't know how many times I can say that. This minuteness of us all. We are only a moment in an eternity, and we leave such a small and minuscule mark on it. You know, they're here in space doing all this work, and it's not even for them, and it's for the next generation of people, and they're going to go even further, and we're all just a small little particle in time. And I like that. That would be something we should have explored more. I'm really rambling about this because I do not like this book that much. But at the end of the day, like this just didn't deliver what I wanted it to. It doesn't feel like it deserves to be on this list, really. It feels lackluster in a lot of ways. I know there's a lot of really good reviews for this, and a lot of people thought this was beautiful. And if you are one of those people, tell me why. This just didn't make me feel anything, and I think it's just that writing style. Just I could not connect with this. It didn't do it for me. I want something beautiful. One of the things I kept thinking about was like, I wish this was written sort of more like a Braiding Sweetgrass. Like you read Braiding Sweetgrass and you feel all of these things. You are there with the author as she like walks through the woods and is telling you about mycelium. I want to be there with the author or with our characters, and I want to feel their feelings, and I really want to experience what they're experiencing. And I just feel like the way this was written kept me from doing that, and that was very disappointing because you had a really great opportunity to give a reader an experience that 99% of the world is never going to have, like looking at Earth from space, being in space. What is space? What does it mean to be an astronaut? What does it mean to orbit the Earth? And I feel like that was a missed opportunity. So for me anyway, that's book 2. Not my favorite, definitely going near the bottom of the list. I'm assuming there's going to be things that are worse, but who knows. So I'm going to go like mid bottom. That's the list. That's where we're at. Let me know your comments down below if you've read Orbital, if you're reading along with the booker. Otherwise, I have another one of these to film, so like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.